Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG-TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hi, good race fans. Dan Diker, Bill Niles, Paul Reichert, Doc, and the voice, and that guy, since we can't mention his nickname anymore. I thought you were going to duct tape that, by the way. He duct taped over it and had something weird last week, like a race car driver would do on his windshield.
Hey, my truck didn't break down today.
Yeah, Bill last week was stuck in Seymour, someplace like that, so I did an award-winning program by myself, then did the radio show by myself, and we're going to submit that one for the awards. So
that's because I did all the work on that one.
Hint.
I did all the work on that one.
Today's program being brought to you by Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Hey, I talked to the guys this week, and the air conditioning unit at my pool went out. They couldn't even come on and look at it. They need staff. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning if you are into HVAC, installs, repairs. I don't know any of that stuff. I just know how to turn it on and off with a remote control. Get a hold of Carey Heating and Air Conditioning because I tell you what, that's a great company to work for. They've been with the show for over 10 years, and they're one of the leaders in the area when it comes to HVAC and heating and cooling.
And if you're watching this show on Saturday or Sunday night, you know it's been hot all weekend. If you haven't had that air conditioner checked out, like Dan hasn't yet, get it checked out. Give them a call.
Ours just went kaput in the hotel because it was an older system, but we've got a new one coming in. My one in my house, that's a whole different story. Next sponsor, we're going to be at next Wednesday, Big Boar Barbecue. Our guest, Zach Liebsch, is sitting over there going, oh, man, why couldn't I just wait a week? Because I've seen what those guys eat when they tape at Big Boar Barbecue in West Salem. Can't wait. Matt Henderson's going to be out with both cars.
You don't want to be at that table. You'll draw back a nub, trust me.
Well, after we did it the first year, he almost took off 5 fingers.
You've seen that picture. I posted a penguin from the first year. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul.
I don't want to relive the memories of that first year.
Yeah, that was not pulled pork. That was chewed fingers from this guy right here.
You see, I got one missing.
I want to thank fansarena.com, the best in apparel. He does the radio and the TV apparel for us. And, of course, Drew Kryvik and Epic Media putting that banner right back there. So, 2 weeks ago, we got rained out. Who would have thought we would have rained out Toma Friday night and then La Crosse Saturday night?
Yeah, that was amazing. I was kind of surprised at both of them, but when you look at the long-range forecast at the time that they canceled, both of them looked like they were going to get hit, and they were pretty much money on their prediction. They both got hit pretty hard Friday night.
Well, Friday night, they could have possibly gotten it in. We went to Golden Sands.
They would have been hurrying. They would have been hurrying.
We went to Golden Sands, and it was just gorgeous up there. And that was my first time ever going up there as a race fan. So, yeah, that was interesting afterwards with Kurt Keene and the entire Wausau gang up there. Saturday night, that was a great call. Chuck Deary could have rained that thing at 6 o'clock in the morning knowing what we were going to get. It was horrible. Week before, there was Fan Photo, and Billy Doc Niles was on the track and had a chance to talk to several drivers. And out of all those, we found 4 we're going to play back to you right now that either have not been on the show or they're just way too hard to get a hold of. First one would be retired driver, now late model driver, Joe Scholze.
Driver of the 58 NASCAR late model, Joe Scholze. And Joe, where have you been?
Pretty much farming for the most part and working. So.
Okay, so you raced back in the early 2000s. What year did you quit? Because Diker and I are having a kind of an argument over this.
If I remember right, I raced here 2004, 2005, and then I ran some super late stuff. Would have been in 6 and 7.
So, first of all, what brought you back to racing? What got you back here?
Well, I've wanted to get back into it and had an opportunity with some friends from church that they figured if I was ever going to get a chance to come back, this was going to be it. So we started putting some stuff together and started looking for cars late last fall, and we brought this one home in November and started going through it and getting ready to come out.
So where did you get this car? Who did this used to be?
Got it from CTS Cars in Watertown, but I mean, I believe it was a Cordell Potter car.
Good car, yeah. Good number, too. He had the same number.
Yeah, the number was easy, so that was the wheels, everything are all the right numbers on them. So
All right, so a lot of things have changed since you've been here. We're talking, what, 16, 17 years ago. Are you finding it hard to get up to date on the technology?
I mean, I helped, worked with Nick Clement some last year, helping him. So, I mean, I don't feel like it was completely out of left field, but I mean, it's quite a bit different. The line on the track's quite a bit different. I mean, just the rules package. I mean, it's almost halfway between, what we used to be in a super late compared to, what we used to be with big spring cars and everything else. So,
Tell me, are you having fun coming back?
oh yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, before we let you go, talk about some of the people that are helping you out here on the 2021 season. Who's got their name on the car?
Chosen Valley Farms is what's on the car. That's me and my wife's farm, which is fourth generation in our family. I mean, Kurt and Ona Childs, the ones that have partnered with us on it. I mean, they've made everything happen that way and pretty much gave me anything that I need, and probably some stuff that I didn't. So.
All right, that's Joe Scholze from the Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Back to the studio.
Good to see another retired driver back in the mix.
Yeah, I remember him from the early 2000s. He racing. It was great to see him back.
Another driver that had stepped away for many, many years came back. One of our older late model drivers coming into Minnesota. This is Darren Wolke.
This guy hasn't been here for a long time, if I remember correctly, and then you just popped up a couple weeks ago. It's Darren Wolke, and dude, what are you doing back at La Crosse?
I mean, if you're going to go racing, you might as well do it here. It's one of the funnest facilities. People are great. Management is fantastic. I like it here.
Okay, so you've been a regular up at your home track at Elko for a long time. How things been going up there?
Well, actually, I retired from racing completely about 7 years ago, and
no wonder we haven't seen you in a long time.
One thing led to another. I got divorced, I got remarried, and my wife is probably the driving force to get me back in the car.
So that's good when a wife gets behind the program. So what did you do in your 7 years after you retired?
Built hot rods, stayed, mechanical. Went out to the races a lot, dreamt about doing this again, and, she said we better do this. So
all of us who retire still dream about it.
I know, it's an addiction. You can't get rid of it.
So let's talk about your racing career before you retired. You were pretty decent, or pretty stout when it came to running up there at Elko.
Yeah, we did pretty good. I mean, we were top 3 or 4 in points generally. Won several races, and it's 20 minutes from home.
Yep.
It's a lot more of a drive down here, but again, it's a lot better facility, a lot funner.
Okay, so let's talk about the future. Are you going to finish the season out here at La Crosse? You're going to spot drive? What does the future look like?
Yeah, we're looking at it. We got some sponsorship opportunities. We're gonna do a couple, 3 more out here for sure. We're gonna bolt the 8-inch tires on and go to Milwaukee with the big 8 guys, and then finish up at Oktoberfest.
All right. Before we cut you loose, do you have any your advertising partners for the year? Who's helping you out?
Yeah, I work for Rapid Marine. We've got 4 stores in Minnesota. We're all out of boats, so you can't come and get any. But
yeah, when you go on vacation up in the cities, there you go see him.
Yep, and then Mergic helped me out a heck of a lot with the motor, and Steve Strasberg's put the chassis stuff together for me. So those 3 entities are helping me out quite a bit.
Good to see the number 38 back at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Our next guest never missed an Oktoberfest.
Yes, Don Thunder Turner.
57 years in racing. When you started, did you ever imagine it would get this far?
No clue. Never thought I'd get past the old North Crosse Speedway, but then I really blossomed out after that.
One of the things we like to emphasize all the time is you being the only driver to ever compete in every single Oktoberfest. That's got to be a heck of a badge of honor for you.
Well, it's the only record I have in racing. I took over your title of the Mid-Pack Legend, here at West Salem. So
you're doing a very good job, by the way.
By the way, I have a gift for you, Doc.
You do? What do you got, buddy?
Well, Doc, my son is Jay Buckley Baseball Tours, and he gives his out to his elderly customers.
Dude!
This is a pill box so you don't get them messed up on your days of the week.
Well, thank you very much. So, Don, let's talk about some of your career achievements. I mean, you've won races all over the Midwest, Dells, Marshfield. Talk about some of your highlights, some of the things that you consider some personal achievements.
Well, I'd say longevity is my greatest achievement in racing. Going to different tracks and being competitive, I always have. If I'd have spent more money and more time on the car, but with teaching, coaching, farming, and raising a family, I kind of was short on the race car. But over the years, I'd say I was a track champion at Toma once, and I'd say winning features at various parks was probably the greatest accomplishment I've ever had.
Since you brought it up, he's also a Hall of Fame baseball coach, and man, you had a lot of longevity in that and a lot of success.
Well, 32 years of working with 15 to 18-year-olds, so.
That drive anybody nuts after 2 years. How did you last that long?
Well, I'm half crazy, you know.
57 years that man has been racing at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Another driver
that pill bottle made me mad.
Another driver that stepped away for a while that came back just to drive the Jason Scheller tribute car. One of my favorite sportsman drivers of all time, Dr. Noise, Billy Martin.
Bill Martin, welcome back, man. It's been a long time.
3 years. The last time I drove was the Matador, but it wasn't mine at that point, for Oktoberfest in 2018.
You really enjoyed getting into that. You had it as a sportsman car out here, but man, when that vintage series took a look at you and said, yeah, you could run with us, your eyes kind of opened up wide.
Well, the car ended up being so freaking pretty to look at. And every time we came out and raced with a sportsman division, their body panels, you can find new body panels. Right. So, yeah, I was like, I don't want to get hit anymore. So I switched divisions. And it was a lot of fun to drive with those guys because everybody has a huge respect for each other's cars. So it was a good time.
So what have you been doing for the last 3 years? Because I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook, but you've really been pretty much around here persona non grata.
A little bit of music. I kind of took time off in that almost the same time I stopped racing. And then the pandemic hit and forced me to take another year off, a year and a half. So I've been doing a lot of iRacing. Some people know what that is nowadays. That got really popular during the pandemic. And I've just been being a normal folk.
All right, so let's get to the reason you're actually here tonight. If we could step out a little bit, you pan the car here. This is the Jason Scheller tribute car. Jason was supposed to race it this summer, but unfortunately he was afflicted with ALS. Jason's sitting off to the side here watching this interview, and as soon as they called you up and said, would you like to spend a night in the car, you didn't hesitate, did you?
A little bit. A little bit. I was never hesitating for real, but it's been 3 years, and it's somebody else's car, so my initial feelings always is, gosh, I hope this goes well.
Lance and the guys did a really awesome job putting this thing together. And, if you saw the video on Facebook or even the news story, that had to bring a tear to your eye.
It was really cool to see it. Well, Jason's helped everybody in the pits, literally everybody, to the point where there's been times that he didn't get his own car ready for the sake of somebody else being able to get ready, and then he just didn't bring his car to the racetrack. We were one of those guys, at least once or twice, that Jason went out of his way. And Lance,
That's Lance right there, by the way, everybody, the guy who spearheaded putting this car together. If you want to see a really good interview with Lance, check out, I think we put it on our Facebook page. Check that out. A very good job, by the way.
Yeah, it's a group effort, obviously, but the core of the work belongs to Lance, who is Jason's best friend, and you can't put a price on that. It's pretty cool how it all came together. But it was really great to see, and it's something that you always see, especially with the family that you get in racing. And we have something pretty similar in the music world too, where if one of your brothers needs help, you all get together and you do it.
When I had him on the PA at the track, he was getting kind of emotional, and I heard he was kind of holding it back when he was talking to you as well.
Yeah, you could see that in that, and a great thing that they've done here for Jason Scheller, putting that car together. Lance Berger did a great job on that car.
When we come back live in studio, we're going to talk to a gentleman that is all over the place in point standings at the La Crosse Speedway. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. He's in 4 different categories. He's got a chance to maybe take home some championships this year. We're going to talk to Zach Liebsch out of Winona when we return on Seven Rivers Racing.
Are you tired of the typical fundraiser? Well, Big Boar Barbecue can offer you an alternative. How about a pork dinner? Pork, beans, and slaw. A complete meal. It's different, it's fast, and it's easy. And you don't pay for what you don't sell, guaranteeing you make a profit. So if your church, school, sports team, or special cause needs a fundraiser, call us today. We've helped all sorts of groups raise thousands of dollars. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16, West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
At Big Boar Barbecue. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, Big Bore Presents. We're going to be taping the show out there next Wednesday. Would encourage you to stop by. You might get some eats. Matt Henderson's going to have both his Johnny Sauter late model and super late model out there that he's purchased over the past couple of years. And it's going to be 608 Piston Pounders car show time, so we can't wait to get out there. Our guest in the program is, wow, this guy's all over the board. He's first in points in the minivans at La Crosse Speedway, fifth in points in the six-shooters, eighth in points in the street stocks. Do you think he likes the six-bangers? And he's third in the novelty division out of Winona, Minnesota. It's Zach Liebsch. Zach, good to have you back on, man.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Dude, do you ever take a break?
No.
Not this year. To me, when I was looking this up last week, this has to be in the most divisions I think you've ever ran at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably the most, and it's probably the most stressful year keeping it all going.
But the thing that helps you is the minivans are minivans. So you've got one of those. He's got the Cheetah. Did you get the Cheetah uniform in, by the way?
Not yet. It still hasn't came. I have it ordered. It's just... It's
so disappointing not to see that on Fan Photo.
Oh, it's going to be out. I guarantee you that much. I still have the. What was the picture? It's in the. I have it in the tower at La Crosse where I announced that you were dressed up as the.
Oh, I was a cow and I had the Tiger van.
Yes. Got that one hanging up in the announcer's tower still.
Before we go further, I got to mention this because this was funny to me. When you were running, I think you were battling for second in the last feature, side by side with somebody who literally could have reached out going in the corners and grabbed the tail. He mentioned that.
That was last week. Bertie Lucy just reached out and pulled your tail back. But getting back to last year, you guys won Best Appearing, you and your brother, when you guys won the track with that outfit.
Yep, we had a cow car for the Enduro and won the Best Appearing.
So this year he's got the Cheetah. He's in the six-shooters and the street stocks. Now, for some folks who go, well, how can he do that? Six-shooters this year at La Crosse Speedway are a different division because they're all American-made, and Zach has an American-made six-shooter, so he can run it in both. And then you have the luxury of running either the car or the van in the novelty division. So, man, I mean, this is a productive year.
Yep, I have a car I have built just for the novelty now, so I don't have to go out and
you don't have to take the Cheetah out anymore.
No, don't have to take Cheetah or the good car out. I have a car that I ran the last couple of years as a street stock, but it doesn't fit the rules, so.
The good car is looking like the bad car, too. It's quite ugly this year. How many bumpers have you had ripped off this year?
Like 3 or 4. It's the same bumper. I just keep putting it back on.
I like to use the term experienced vehicle. Tell me.
It's an experienced bumper.
There we go.
More time on the track than he has.
Go back to opening day. Who was more excited about your brother's feature, you or him?
I think I was. Seeing him finally win a feature after trying so long.
That was amazing. Yeah, he was screaming coming out of his car. His brother seemed kind of calm, but I could hear him screaming going around the track.
I knew as soon as he waited, I mean, it was going to be something. And if you don't know his brother Alex has taken a pounding in the past couple of years as well. And we see some of his in-car every now and then. But it's always nice because I always like the family atmosphere we get when family members not only can win on the same night or at the same track, but are right there to, like when you're interviewing Sam Niles, your nephew, he's sitting right there waiting for Alex.
Yeah, I've helped him a lot. He helps me a lot. And it just feels good to watch him finally win at La Crosse. He's won different places, but it feels a lot better at La Crosse.
I've got to get my notes out here real quick because I got to look at this minivan. You are leading Rob Stanfield, former two-time minivan track champion, by 1 point. 8 over Keith Larson, which is kind of a surprise this year. Al Bartles by 12 and Bernie Lucy by 12. Man, this thing is nowhere close to being done.
No, it's just starting.
Yeah, last year it was a two van race. This year it looks to be a 5-van race, and they are one of my. I love watching minivans on that track. How much fun is it to drive one of them around?
It's a lot more fun than a car.
Is it a little top heavy or?
No.
No?
I can drive it just as hard as the car.
Okay.
It's just a lot more weight so they don't go as fast.
Because it's been what has it been, 5 or 6 years since we ran minivans. I remember the first conversation you and I had when we knew we were going to do this. These things are going to flip over left and right. We have still yet to see a minivan flip over. How do you guys accomplish that?
Diker, knock on wood, Diker.
No, you weren't supposed to do that.
They're just not as top heavy as you think. It's just a lot of tin up on the roof, so it's not very top heavy. Going through the corner, I only have 3 wheels on the ground, but it's still stable.
He does. He bunny hops, especially in turn 3 and 4. I love seeing that thing come up off the ground.
You know, I brought this up to Hebner and Stanfield once, and I'll bring it up to you. How challenging, hard, whatever word you want to use, is it to maintain so many vehicles to race every week?
I only have the 2.
Okay.
My 3-stock and 6-shooter are the same car, so as long as I keep not wrecking them.
Yeah, but then you got the van, too.
Nope, the van just sits at the track.
It does. Okay.
Doesn't get much damage. If it does, it's not very hard to fix.
It sits right down there over turn 2 in what we call Liebsch corner. They've had that same spot for years and years and years when they park down there. Third in novelty, anybody can win that. Street stocks and 6-shooters, you got a ways to go in there, but I tell you what, the competition in both these divisions this year is awfully, awfully tough.
Yeah, Hebner and Stansfield running every week too. It's always fun running against all of them.
Okay, so we only got about a minute left.
Well, hold on. Okay. When does Mom get to race again? Wendy's last time, well, no, not the last time she raced, but the most famous time is Mom raced. She flipped a car over in its lid in turn 4 and ended the season like that. And at the banquet, she got a trophy with a car upside down on it. Does she still have that trophy?
Yep.
Oh, good, good.
All right, we got about a minute left. Tell us about the advertising partners helping out in 2021.
I got River City Ready Mix, Mike Simon Concrete, Boondocks Repair, Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, CB Shop, Roy and Deb, JJ's Towing, Auto Center Towing, J&L Collectibles. I think that's it.
I think he nailed it on that. Again, he's first in the minivan point standings. He is 5th in the 6-shooters, 8th in street stocks, and 3rd in novelty. And we're only at the halfway point. He's got a lot of racing to do for the remainder of the year. We appreciate Zach coming in. And, hey, man, good luck on the rest of the season. This is going to get fun.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot of fun.
All righty. When we come back, another guy that's having a lot of fun, but he's doing it in a different division this year for the first time. Bill Schott's going to join us here on 7 Rivers Racing.
7 years and counting. Hi, Jerry here. For 7 years in a row, Big Boar Barbecue has been voted the best barbecue and caterer by the people of La Crosse County. I am humbled by your praise. We work our hardest to provide good food and service to any size group, from a small lunch to large wedding reception. We can provide full service or just drop off the food for you to serve. The dates are filling fast, so call us today. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering, Highway 16, West Salem. A delicious mouthful.
At Big Boar Barbecue.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back, race fans. 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Got a whole bunch of people up here now. When we get hotties that come in, like this one and that one, Penguin gets off the set pretty quick, doesn't he, Bill?
What's he doing here?
He's holding the hottie. It's Fire Marshal Bill Schott, and a new modified program for this guy this year, and that was not the plan to start the season. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Guess I'm glad to be here.
How did we thought Hobby Stock Sportsman, you and I kicked it all winter long and during the spring, and all of a sudden neither of those show up. You're in a modified.
Well, we bought a Sportsman from Crosse Speedway, and I got a case of the lazies, I guess. Didn't feel like doing nothing, and the modified, I think Tyler Sauter and Denny Schott put it together. Practiced it. Sauter said I ain't got enough time because I guess he's running that late model.
Yep.
And I decided I was going to buy it and put my motor on it.
Yeah, Sauter's running CWRA this year. He'll be at Crosse Speedway on July 14th, I think, it is, during the fair. I've asked you on the track several times now, both at Toma and at La Crosse, hey, you're in a modified, what do you think? And your response has been the same thing, I don't like it. Now we're at the mid-season. What do you think of the modified?
I'd still rather be able to throw it in the corner, but other than that, I like it.
Well, you came out of the chute with a feature win right off the bat. I mean, you had to be liking it after that.
Bill, I didn't have any freaking front brakes, and it was wet.
And you still won.
I couldn't stop.
That means you were fast.
Well, I think they had more power than I did, and it worked out, is all.
Nice.
I knew it was wet, so I was going to start back. But I'm not dumb. If they put late models up first in a feature, it's probably because rain's coming.
You know, and then you bring it to lacrosse and you got like a fast time in 3 second places. That's pretty good for running lacrosse.
Well, I feel I have a feature win coming there. That's kind of my whole goal. I'm going. I'm fast, but that clock thing, I've already lost once because of the clock, and I don't want it to happen again, so I've settled for these seconds.
Third at Toma in the modified division, sitting right behind Denny Schott. You're sitting 12 behind him, or 10 behind him. That's cousin, correct?
Correct.
Now, how well do you and Denny work together?
If I didn't have Denny, I guess I'd be lost. I mean, I'm glad that we're racing, pretty much go everywhere together at this point. You busy? So, I mean, he helps me tremendously. I can, like, my sway bar, not sway bar, the trailing arm came loose, and I couldn't remember where to put it. Called him up on the phone, told him exactly where to put it. Showed up the following week, and it was good to go. Hey, we're good, basically.
What's it like running with Denny at lacrosse, both modifieds? I think it's a great show.
Honestly, the only time we've ever, I think, ran side by side was 2013 in a vintage race, and then back in like 06 or 07 at Toma. I can't remember exactly the year. We ran a few races then, but we really wanted to do it, and here we are. We're doing it. It's fun. It's competition. I can't wait till we're side by side. It just hasn't really happened much yet, but we will be.
Talk about that horrific crash at Oktoberfest. Holy cow, I can't believe you got out and walked away from that.
Well, I mean, I took a little nap first, and then adrenaline kicked in, and I got out and ran and had some choice words. And
where's that car at now?
Probably made into rebar.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It's maybe a spoon.
I have all the body panels.
I was gonna say I know how you like to make things work. I thought maybe you'd try and fix it.
Oh no, it was actually junk when I got wrecked at Rockford, but we made it work to try to finish out the year, and we finished with a bang.
Of course, with a bang.
This is my lovely sweetheart Gracie, who always goes to the races. Do you like watching your daddy race?
Wave to the camera.
You like watching your daddy race? She does. She used to hang out at my hotel, too. So, Tyler Stuber, son, races. What division this year?
He did some wheeling and dealing with Stansfield and got himself a pretty fast Hornet. And he's actually, I'm pretty impressed myself.
Now, who is this?
This would be
Tyler's girlfriend.
Anna.
Anna. We've known Anna for quite a while now. And it's kind of cool that Anna's here because Tyler's working. But if you want to see a hardworking person in the pits, you're down there.
Yeah, I guess.
With Tyler and all this time, we're working on cars and working a full-time job and having a relationship.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough, but it's got to be neat at the same time.
It's nice, going from the day-to-day, just working, and then, on the weekends we go racing, and it's just kind of, it's a big switch, but I love it.
Now, are you like the tire person? Are you the...
No, I actually clean the car.
So it does look good.
Yeah, and he does. His Hornet this year, I was surprised he came out in the car, but it does look pretty sharp.
Okay, so we only got about a minute left here, kids. We'll start with you. What are Tyler's sponsors for this year?
Signal Systems, Lysol Construction, Schott Repair out of Mauston, Schott Scrap Services out of Lake Hallie, J&L Collectibles, and Mergic Graphic and Design. And then special thanks to his mom and dad, Sam and Bill, Alex, Austin, Emery, Rob, and the Wilsey family.
And
She's got a good radio voice.
Yeah, she does.
Wow.
Kregel's CBD Magic, Signal Systems, All-Star Mobility, my boss, Lysol Construction, Schott Repair, Danny out of Austin, Schott Scrap Services out of Lake Hallie, More for Less, JJ Towing, LC's out of Caledonia, S&B, Lawn and Snow Removal, Tracy's Vinyl Works, J&L Collectibles, Mergic Graphics and Design, Ardens, and then I have a pretty big supporter, Dwayne. He's when I least expect it, man, he's really there to help. And then special thanks. We run stickers in memory of his wife Sherry, and now there will be a new one coming on in remembrance of one of their friends that just passed away last week, and we're having a meetup.
And since I'm always here to do the cleanup work, you notice there's nowhere on this list does it say anything about his wife.
I didn't get to the other side.
Oh, there's another side. All right, rip through it.
You know, the program's almost over.
Okay, well, you gave me a time limit. And special thanks to my sister, Tony and Bob, because they, at the end of last year when I wrecked my car, guess what? They were there to help me get a new car. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have started this year. Henry Ryan, because man, that kid just seems to help everybody, and he's there for me. Obviously, my son Tyler and Austin and Brian, and then my nephew Ethan, Grandpa Larry Bolster. He's always helping me with something to make it go faster. This chick here for making it shine. Andy Talbert. I was going to call her Amanda, but she'd be mad. My wife for putting up with my crap, for letting me waste all my money, and my girls Monica and Graceland. Obviously, you guys for getting us out there and making us known.
You've been watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Thanks for watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
Are you tired of the typical fundraiser? Well, Big Boar Barbecue can offer you an alternative. How about a pork dinner? Pork, beans, and slaw. A complete meal. It's different, it's fast, and it's easy. And you don't pay for what you don't sell, guaranteeing you make a profit. So if your church, school, sports team, or special cause needs a fundraiser, call us today. We've helped all sorts of groups raise thousands of dollars. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
At Big Boar Barbecue.